Hello Ramen Nation, Chris Cobain here, and this time I'm bringing you guys XRL Week 2, the Pokemon of the Week. So we got some pretty cool stuff. I actually got quite a lot of entries this week from the coaches, so they sent me quite a bit of stuff. It was pretty tough to narrow it down. So you guys are going to see that there's not like a ton of actual heat going in this week, but there was some sets from Pokemon that I particularly really like that just put in so much work that I couldn't really ignore them, even if they weren't necessarily running really heat sets. So you guys will see that in the higher numbers of the list, but we still got some heat running in this list. I think it's pretty good this week, and I think you guys will like it. So starting off with number 5 here, as we jump right into it, is going to be our Guardian and the Harrisburg Heatrans running this really cool Feraligatr set. So it's obviously just leftovers automatically is weird. Torrent's actually pretty weird for him too. But that EV spread is where it really starts to kick in. 252 HP, 252 defense, 4 special attack, a fully physically, specially defensive set running Scald, Ice Beam, Fake Tears, which lowers your special defense by 2 stages if I'm not mistaken. And Toxic. So this Gator was actually built to fight Spices and his Salk 1v1, which it actually did a pretty good job of. The reason it's number 5 on this list with this much of a heat set is because it actually wasn't able to do much of anything, unfortunately. On the first CC it scalded and didn't get the burn, and then it would have been able to take a second CC and scald for the kill, but Aura made a prediction for the Salk to switch out since it wasn't going to kill, and click Toxic to predict one of the walls to come in, and unfortunately it didn't get the play there, and it ended up just Toxicing the Salk, who ended up killing him next turn anyway. So if it would have killed Salk, I would put it higher up on the list because it would have done things. Unfortunately, it does pick up no kills, and at the end, at the end of the day, it still did decent work. Salk's a huge threat to any team, especially with his massive moveset. So for the Gator to be able to chip it down, it ended up doing pretty much all of its health, but ended up doing about 90%. I think maybe even got the indirect with it. So definitely deserved to be on the list. We threw it to number 5 because it wasn't able to do too much, but still definitely deserved a spot, 100%. Coming in at number 4 this week, we're going to go with someone that I feel like will be bringing heat to this list quite often. I believe this is his first appearance. He didn't make week 1. It's going to be Devin and the Tampa Bay Turtwigs and his Poliwrath. So I do not expect this to be the last time that this particular Poliwrath is on this list. He's told me plenty of ideas for this Poliwrath, and I really like this one. So it is one of his Z Captain. It's running normally MZ, Swift Swim combined with a Liepard, Prankster Liepard as his range setter. Adamant, obviously, 252 attack, 252 speed, and the 4 special defense, running Splash, Poison Jab, Ice Punch, and Waterfall. So if you don't know, Z Splash actually raises your attack by 3 stages. It was absolutely ludicrous. And with Swift Swim, this thing is Poliwrath way faster than anything it was facing, because Poliwrath, I believe, was like base 70, so +2, it's very fast. The reason it's number 4, and I wish it was higher, it ended up picking up 2 kills this week. Devin actually sacked it off early this week. After the rain ended for the first time, he didn't realize the rain had ended, and he ended up dying, I think, to Staraptor. I think Staraptor killed it, because he was facing Carly. So yeah, I think Staraptor ended up killing it. He thought the rain was still up. He just miscounted it and didn't realize it had ended. So he thought he was faster and ended up dying because of it. I said on stream when I watched it that if Poliwrath doesn't die there, I really actually felt like he could have gotten 6 kills, because he got the first 2, and everything else that was left really didn't deal very well with Poliwrath, especially this set. She had like Garchomp left and some other, and Empoleon, so he actually ended up not having a fighting attack, which I wasn't aware of, so it turns out that Empoleon would have actually hard-walled him, but I wasn't aware of that at the time. I thought he was running some kind of fighting attack. But either way, this was a really cool set. I do not expect this to be the last hurrah for Poliwrath on this list, or certainly not for Devin, because I know he's got some strats in the back. But I hope Tentacle makes it 1 week, actually. But definitely deserved to be on the list for the set, and it did pick up 2 kills along with being it, so definitely something I wanted to show off. So for the rest of it here, the last three, I wouldn't really call any of them heat. They're not running ridiculous sets. They're definitely running sets that you don't see normally for the most part, but I wouldn't necessarily call them heat. So, but they all put in tons of work, and I couldn't ignore them. Starting off, and you guys know it, one of my favorite Pokemon, one of my signature stream Pokemon, and the one I mentioned before, Sawk. So, as I mentioned with the Feraligatr, this thing, absolute threat. This set is not heat by any stretch of the imagination. It's a pretty base set, actually. So it's just Choice Scarf, Sturdy, just like mine, obviously. Jolly Nature, 252 attack, 252 speed, 4 special defense. Nothing out of the ordinary. They're running Close Combat, Knockoff, Thunder Punch, and Fire Punch. So the coverage is pretty self-explanatory. He just runs what he needs to run so that he can fight what was on Aura's team. Let me actually take a look at what Aura has on his team just to be sure that I know what I'm talking about here. So, Close Combat's obvious for coverage in general. Knockoff is for the just for the status of it, you know, knocking off items. Hits Mega Alakazam very hard. Aura's got Porygon too to get knocked off as well. Thunder Punch looks like it was mainly for Mantine and Feraligatr, though he didn't actually click on a Feraligatr. And he was running Fire Punch, which looks like it was for Vikavolt, which seems to be the only thing that really it matters for. Yeah. So yeah, he was running Fire Punch for Vikavolt more so than anything else, who obviously resists fighting and wouldn't take a ton of knockoff. So a really well-rounded set, built to really do work to everything, to most stuff that Aura had. It wouldn't have done much to Granbull, but it ended up picking up 3 kills this week, including the Feraligatr kill. I don't actually recall what else it killed in this match. I think it killed Alakazam. Yeah, it killed Alakazam with a Close Combat, and I want to say Lucario, but I could be wrong. But either way, you guys know Sawk is my boy. It killed half the opposing team, so I didn't want to ignore it. Like I said, not exactly heat, but that's not this list is not supposed to be based off of heat alone. It's supposed to be based off of Pokemon who went in and put in a bunch of work, and Sawk definitely did that. Definitely deserved a spot on the list. Love him. He is 3 though, because there's a couple more that I think deserve a little better than that. So, and that starts off with number 2, and this is going to be very, very similar to what just happened. Sawk, to what happened with Sawk, I should say. It's Gallade, another one of my favorite fighting types in the entire game. And Sean and the Pittsburgh Pessimians went in with this Gallade. It absolutely put in a butt ton of work. He faced Derek this week, so it's Focus Sash, which right off the bat is actually pretty weird. I believe he ran Focus Sash so that he could beat pre-set-up Zygarde, just in case he allowed a Dragon Dance or something to that effect to come in and do work on him. Justified to get that attack boost upon Dark Attacks. Sean did have Scizor with potential knockoff, along with Girder with knockoff, which could have been annoying, among other things. Adamant, 252 attack, 4 special defense, 252 speed, and again, not really running heat in terms of the set here. Close Combat, Leaf Blade, Ice Punch, and Fire Punch. The most heat thing about this is just the coverage that he ran, and I absolutely love it. So Close Combat obviously is just for overall power. Leaf Blade is mainly for Derek's Primarina. Ice Punch hit both Zygarde 50% and Amoonguss, both very important. Also hit Tornadus Eye for what it's worth. And then Fire Punch was for Mega Scizor and for Doublade. So a really, really good job of game planning for the opposing team. And it showed a lot as it actually went ahead and picked up 3 kills just like the Sawk did. The reason I put it above the Sawk in terms of the list is, one, because it's running an off-kilter item in the Sash. And I think the set itself is more unique than what the Sawk was running. No Shadow Sneak. No Psychic Stab, which is kind of weird, obviously, and Leaf Blade's always something that's different on a Gallade, but it definitely made sense. He needed something to hit that Primarina very hard. He did that's a really good decision, and as I said, it picked up 3 kills this week. Just absolutely went in. It was just a nightmare for Derek to face every time he brought something in. Felt like he was safe. It didn't matter. It killed the Zygarde. I think he killed the Primarina with Leaf Blade. It may have killed Scizor. I don't exactly remember, but I know that it put in a ton of work. And just like Sawk, dude, one of my favorite Pokemon, had to put it on the list for the work it did. Killed half the team. Can't do much better than that unless you're the number one this week. And you guys probably know what this is. If you watched Game of the Week this week, you should know what this is. He put in the utmost work, the finest of work. It's going to be Jolteon coming through at the number one slot. Anarchy and his Vancouver Victinis were on the brink of a loss. It was 4-1. Jolteon was the only Pokemon left, was just barely above 50%, and already had a life orb chipping it down. All up the Jolteon, and man, did it come through in the clutch. So very, very typical Jolteon for the most part. This set's actually, someone must have sent me the wrong set. Someone must have sent me the wrong set, because this is actually incorrect. It might be like an original set. I'm trying to see if Anarchy sent me this himself. Yeah, Anarchy actually, I should have realized it and corrected it, but I will correct it myself. It is Jolteon, Life Orb, Volt Absorb, obviously, Timid, 252 Special Attack, 252 Speed, running Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, Hidden Power Grass, and Shadow Ball. That's actually wrong. Shadow Ball is replaced with Signal Beam. So, at the end of the match, it came down to 1v4. I'm trying to remember everything that Connor had left. He had a half-health Victini. He had Celebi, who was pretty healthy. He had Rotom Heat, who was weakened. And he had Marowak. And at the end of the game, Jolteon came in. Thunderbolt on Celebi as it switched in. Signal Beam to one-tap it. Connor switched into Marowak, who died instantly to Hidden Power Grass. Switched into Rotom, who died to a Thunderbolt because it was that freaking chipped from fighting Volcarona. And then switched into that half-health, non-Scarf Victini. Could not quite take a Thunderbolt. So Jolteon picks up 4 back-to-back kills. I believe ends with exactly 9 health. 1 Life Orb shot away from actually just making a 0-0 victory. Absolutely could not keep this away from number one this week. Such an underrated Pokemon to me. Jolteon is always like in the lower tiers, but it's one of the fastest electric types in the game. I love this thing to death. It's to me, it is one of the most underrated Pokemon in the entire game. And for it to come through to beat up something like Victini, to beat up something like Celebi, like Rotom Heat, these things that typically stuff it, and just for it to be able to come through with the support of its team, obviously, getting the chip damage it needed to come through and pick up those last 4 kills and win the game 1-0 with 9 health. It absolutely had to be number one. Clutch moment from Jolteon, clutch moment from Anarchy, who made Game of the Week, who was the winner of the Game of the Week this week. So congratulations to Anarchy for that and for being number one on Heat of the Week. Well-deserved, man. Was honored to watch this thing go and do work. So thank you guys for watching the top 5 yet again this week. I do appreciate it. If you guys want to check out all these matches and see all these sets live as they happen, make sure you guys do me a favor, follow my Twitch stream. There will be a link in the description below. We watch every match every week, Sunday, starting at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We watch every battle from the league each and every week on those Sundays. So if you guys want to check them out, get to see all the games live as they happen, or not as they happen, but as I commentate them, and get to see all the heat and what Pokemon go in and do work, make sure you guys stop by, check it out. We would absolutely love to have you. So thank you guys for watching again. I do appreciate it. YouTube, I'll see you guys next week on Wednesday as we check out Game of the Week for Week 3. Hope to see you guys there. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you guys later, alright? Alright, peace, Ramen Nation.